by the way, which is pretty incredible in a PvP. How good is his PvZ? Because back when he was a champion, it was the best in the world. How good is it right now? That's what we're all excited to see. I think this is probably maybe the best match for me going to the second best of 5 tonight. Just looking at this, I feel like this is the one that I want to see. How good is Deer's PvZ right now? Is it on point? And also at the same time, what's Action going to show us? Because we barely get to see this guy, but every time we do, this is being what I could best describe as like a real treat, man. It's just like, okay, what's this guy going to do?
It's a guy that you don't get to see often, but once you do, it's like, oh, he's not just that extra guy. He's actually pretty good. They just feel like stats is a bit better usually, but he's not coming out today. Look at this. All of us go for Deer.
Yeah. Even though Action has, a 5-game winning streak, those stats are just not as relevant as Deer's recent results, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely agree with you there.
I mean, Action looks great in a Godzilla suit as well, but this just doesn't always end up being relevant.
Doesn't quite translate into his play. No, you're right. Yeah. True.
That's something
He's got some good celebrations.
I really missed that from last season, and I hope we get some more of these videos with the ceremonies. And
Pro League's always good for that, usually. I'm sure we'll see something.
Well, Flash
maybe if Stork comes out once again, like when they play KT.
Well, Flash has to start winning.
Playing them today, but maybe in a future round.
Yeah, sure.
We'll see.
We'll have to wait and see for that one. So there seems to be some sort of problem with Action's PC because not in the lobby.
Zest was also the guy that delayed the first game.
Oh, was he? I didn't even notice that. I wonder if there's a pattern here.
KT players just being slow.
KT players are actually famous for taking too much time and have actually, been reprimanded for that quite a lot in the past. Not so much last season, but in past seasons, like 12-13 season, they were quite famous for taking too much time to get ready and delaying the tournament. Now they're given a specific set amount of time they have. It could actually just be a hardware problem with the computer or something like that. We don't know what's going on. I don't want to put the blame on the KT players here because it's probably just a coincidence. Most likely, there's some PC lag or maybe there's some internet problem. I don't know. There's no sort of evidence in the chat of what is going on right now. The KT account is just online and in the chatting where we have all the players waiting to get into lobbies. So. At least the PC's working. At least he's online.
Yeah,
that's going well.
That's the first step. You were saying sometimes it could be the computer, but in this case, maybe just taking a little bit of extra time to set up. Not really sure.
Yeah.
But we'll just have to wait.
That we will. While we wait here, let's talk a little bit about Action as a player. I guess. I mean, this guy, somebody who's always been kind of on the back. Of KT Rolster's lineup, kind of on the back burner, somebody who comes out for kind of snipe builds. Really comparable to a player like Hush, not in the sense of like sniping for one matchup, but a backup player that you have that you can rely upon pretty often to come out and do well. When you send him out, you're not scared he's going to choke. Even though he's only played 5 games, in recent time. Well, not even in recent times, but like he's won his last 5 games, but he hasn't looked nervous. Yeah. He hasn't had an awkward moment where, he just totally botches his build or miscontrols. He's a solid, safe pick that you don't always want to rely on, but you can rely on.
Hello.
Hello. Thanks for coming down.
Welcome down to the studio.
Thanks for coming. So for those of you guys who don't know, as I get questions about this still to this day, you can actually get English headsets and put those in and listen to us. It's free.
They are free. You do have to barter first. You need to trade in your ID. So I
you'll
guess
get
not
it back.
Technically free. Yeah, you can trade back. There are trade backsies, so you will be able to do that.
Yeah, just make sure nobody's taking those away, as those are pretty useful.
Yeah.
Somebody takes those away, they can listen to me for the rest of the day. It's connected to me. You and I have a private conversation later. They're just listening to everything. It's
I hope not, man. That would be bad.
It's not connected to it's not actually connected to our mics. It's just connected to us. That's why they have. That's why you have to give them back
to our head.
Yeah, it was given to us
when
we were born. We were born to do this, Valdez.
It all makes sense now, guys.
We got this.
Now I understand why I'm here.
The chips implanted. You were like, I don't know. I mean, I just ended up doing this Pro League thing. It just felt like it was what I was supposed to do.
It was all fate until I learned about the computer chip in my ear.
Yeah.
Well, looking at some stats as we got some of this break here. Well, looks we are going into introductions, but thankfully Action is not coming out against Terran because that is by far his worst matchup, 2-7. And against Protoss, as you guys do see here, he's 8-8, so 50-50. This guy is definitely not a walkover. We were talking about the upwards arrow being a bit questionable, but again, he's definitely a very strong player. And even though we all favor Deer here, definitely do not count this guy out yet.
Yeah, don't count him out. You know, he's definitely the underdog.
And one thing I want to mention as well, another Hans Zimmer song.
Yes, is actually our most popular artist so far for most players. This is a great song. I'm not sure which film this is from. It could be from Inception. I'm not sure.
It's got that bass in the background that makes you think it is.
Yeah.
Inception is a great movie. I need to watch that movie again.
Yeah. All right, well, bringing the energy, by the way, over here is Deer, who's 2-0 this season. A win today would actually stack him up, put him up with those 3-win players. And he's 10-7 versus Zerg. And he's got a pretty solid win rate in Pro League overall at 31-21 from his STX days. So this guy's come out in Pro League a lot. And he looks to be on form. Again, like I said before, at one point in his career, the best PvZ player in the world. Let's see where he's at today.
Like you were saying before, players that come back and get back into the thick of things, they regain those old skills. This guy has already taken one win against a Zerg in Pro League. Can he do it again? Let's find out.
We will. Overgrowth the map. Let's jump into it right away.
Down here in the bottom left, in the red, the Zerg player for KT, it's Action.
And up to the top right in blue, it's Deer, formerly STX. Very briefly, Mao's Esports as well. Mao Sports, I should say. I don't want to say that wrong. It's a very historical esports team from Europe that's been around for a very long time, supporting a lot of awesome players, not only in StarCraft, of course, but in other scenes as well. Esports is very huge in Europe, and as much as I know a lot of people don't like to admit it, esports is much bigger than just StarCraft. It's actually a huge, broad spectrum that contains a ton of exciting games.
Very true. I mean, even talking about Heroes a bit as this game gets going, a huge scene already in the Tech Alpha in Europe so far. The biggest scene in the world. Yeah. So definitely look towards that if you're a Heroes fan as well. But right off the bat here, for Deer, we do have a pylon on the low ground, and this is, of course, a two-player map. Could definitely see some more cannons. Wonder if Action's going to throw down that hatch.
Well, he can't anymore now that this probe is here so fast. Because if you... I mean, let's just talk about this simple fact for a minute. If a probe comes into your base this early, not only is there the possibility that he can cannon you, but he's probably just going to even straight up block your hatch. If you go down there and the probe just follows you, you can't get the hatch up unless you send 2 drones. You just lose too much time. So it looks like he was just planning on going for a Nexus first here, but he could still continue to delay. This is very annoying. And the Forge has to go down in response.
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't make a Forge, then, obviously things could get a bit dicey.
Yeah, this is a bit different compared to what Zest did. As you were saying before, with the very early probe you're able to block like this, Zest did not send out that probe that early. He waited until the Forge got down, so he was kind of baiting out that hatchery. But with this one, you're kind of just getting that Forge down, delaying the hatchery of the Zerg, forcing the spawning pull out, and you get your Nexus up faster instead of going for the cannons. You're able to just make cannons at your front to be safe. You can get a gateway very fast right after this as well. And it's just more of an economic build rather than trying to do damage to the Zerg.
Sorry for that loud noise I just made, but that was a pretty cool probe snipe there.
That it was.
Deer sticking around just a bit too long. Anyway, it gets replaced.
Yep. Action very smartly. He knows exactly what this is, especially because he sees at the front anyway with this Overlord. He's going to be like, okay, I'll just throw down my third very, very quickly to try to catch up against the Nexus first of the Protoss.
Already starting to hit on this probe a little bit. Probe's not interested, but the problem is that...
He's trying to run away as fast as possible, but Zerglings are pretty fast anyway.
He's still going to see this, but at least this probe isn't going to, like, just go do a fringe scout and then make a pylon.
Ooh, nice circling micro there.
He actually might lose this probe.
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty close.
Something you can do to possibly get that little extra, possibly get the kill.
I don't know how much health it has. I think he might lose it. I'm like, watch this on me map.
You can look, man.
I'm going to go look.
You're on the side of the observer PC this time.
2 health left and he survives.
Yep.
So, that's really important, though, because normally what the Protoss would like to do is hide that probe, or if they lose their first probe, you know, they have to do this, but if they don't lose that first probe, they can kind of just hide it, send it back around, check the third, and then hide it to make a pylon for pressure later. You always have to worry about that as a Zerg. Look, already Action is checking everywhere with those early as Overlords. He's just confirming it again. There's no pylons, there's no hidden Stargates, there's nothing that he doesn't know about that he has to worry about.
Sometimes Overgrowth is a funny map like that because sometimes we have people do proxies on this map when there's like not that much room to proxy. Actually, like it's a decently large map, but you're gonna get scouted if the other guy is, you know, aware of the fact that this is possible and is actually scouting. It's pretty easy to find it, but at the same time, Overgrowth does see its fair share of proxies.
Yeah, and you always have to remember the old saying, "Better safe than sorry," when it comes to this matchup. I mean, he even killed the first probe and still was very careful to go and check for everything. Okay, we're going to see a Stargate opening here. +1's coming down as well. With the +1, we could see Oracles with this. Phoenix is an almost equally likely choice. And we'll just have to wait and see what he wants to do. It is going to be Phoenix's.
That it will be. Does weaken that one Overlord in the bottom, the south of his base, to the south of his base there, so it's going to have less health. Get those Phoenixes out there faster, doing a bit more damage, but it does seem like, you know, he's already putting down the Spore Crawlers.
Yeah.
He should be quite safe against this.
That's for extra safety as well, you know, against possible DTs. And now, of course, he confirms. Oh, it's a Phoenix. Going to kill my first Overlord. Already preemptively making 2 extra Overlords to replace the 2 that he's going to lose. And the Robo goes up. So a little bit of everything here for Deer. Very safe opening. He's going to be able to get a lot of information with his Phoenixes, clear up Overlords. He'll keep Action in the dark when it comes to scouting. Actually a bit supply blocked right now, but only very briefly. So he can continue to build those units.
Whereas Action way over making some Overlords here. Actually has a lot of supply, and he's got 3 more on the way. Again, he's had like a really nice spread on his Overlords out on the map, so I guess he's just anticipating that and making them pretty early, but he's got a lot of supply, man.
Yeah, he does. You know, when you have this much money and not enough gas just yet, sometimes you just make those Overlords because you want to spend your money on something. Don't have to worry about that for later.
Yep. We got a pretty interesting build out of the Zerg here, Action, actually. He's going very fast Hydras, and he got a pretty fast lair as well. He's got the Roach Warren out here. You could definitely see a decently fast attack with some Roach Hydra against the Protoss trying to take a third base.
That building right above the Phoenixes, by the way, guys, is the Infestation Pit. So he sees that, but he sees the Hydro Sten as well now. He's gotten close enough. Queen does go down with a second lift there. Overlord's nicely put on hold position to make sure that they're in safety next to that Spore. But the Bay is already almost done, so he can feel very confident that the Bay is going to be answered for both Hydralis and Swarmos that are coming out here for action. So Deer must be feeling pretty good about himself right now. Got a few probe kills, you know, cleared up the Overlords. He hasn't been pressured at all. His third base is going up essentially for free right now. Oh, he has a Robo up to, you know, start the Colossus right away here. Continues to make Phoenixes, actually. And let's see if he makes another one after that. I doubt it. Oh, he does, actually. He's just really powering out those Phoenixes. So that's going to be great to shut down any Mutalisk transitions. And Hydras in small numbers can actually just be wiped by Phoenixes.
Yep. This is a very fast lair out of Action, actually.
And by lair, you mean Hive, right?
Oh, yeah, Hive, yeah. Sorry, guys.
Ooh, a pause without typing.
I think...
So,
Action seemed like surprised by that as well.
He paused it, though.
Sure yeah.
Must be a keyboard problem of some kind.
Because, of course, he did not type PP.
Yeah, which may end up creating a problem for him here.
Now he's being lectured.
Yeah, you gotta type PP. He's like, oh, that's right. But that's actually cost players games in the past. I think Nalra actually lost a game by typing P 3 times instead of 2 times or something like that. Somebody lost a game by accidentally pausing while they were trying to open their options menu to like change the sound value. Anyway, the fast hive here is probably for Vipers to grab Colossi. And so the Infestation Pit, I thought maybe it was just originally going to be to get some Swarm House out once the Hydros and Roaches pressure a little bit. Mm-hmm. But it looks like he wants to go for a Viper comp.
Like Roach, Hydra, Viper.
Yeah.
Just try to go head-to-head against the Protoss.
While the Colossus count is low, try to snipe those, take a good trade.
Yeah, he's already got a pretty good economy. I mean, already he's got 71 drones. I think he's about to get that 4th base as well. So getting those 8 gases out, he's going to have a lot of gas, a lot of mining, a lot of hatcheries, a lot of units.
Yeah, but before any of that happens, we've got to get back into this game. And talking about upgrades, +1 attack is done for Deer. His armor is halfway done. The +1 attack for the Hydras is going to be done in just a second. He has completely cut Roaches out of this. He got a Roach Warren for safety and did not research Roach speed, so he's just going straight into Hydras. Probably going to add some Roaches in. I don't think he can go pure Hydra here with Ling. I mean, we have seen it before, but let's just wait and see how he wants to play this. I mean, there's also the possibility that he ends up just making, some Swarmos a little bit later on as well. So Action accidentally pressed the pause key.
Yeah, man. I was telling you, he was like, what? What? Oh, crap.
So I don't know what this means. It's probably a warning.
It's probably a warning. I mean, that's usually not okay. It's just a pause a game right in the middle.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, without typing either. So, anyways, the countdown has started. We're back in the game. No sort of problems here. A bit of a hiccup, a bit of an annoyance. But nothing too crazy. And the warning won't come into play unless something else happens. So don't worry too much about that. So, the +1's going to finish. Oh, nice deny on that Observer. But look at this. This is what I was talking about. Hydros and low numbers. Phoenix is going to have a fun time. Look at this. Just picking them up and letting them down. Not alive, though.
I guess he just didn't expect this many Phoenixes coming out here. And already he's got a decent Gateway army with this. He's only got 1 Colossus. Could definitely put on the pressure.
There's those Roaches. 19 of them on the way, but he doesn't have Roach speed, which could be a very big problem when he has to defend something like this. And he can't counterattack with those easily. And oh, no, he made a bunch of extra Overlords like you were talking about earlier, Valdez, but a bit exposed here. And more Hydras in small numbers, isolated away from each other, getting picked off.
Yeah, Phoenix is just doing an amazing job so far. I think they've gotten 10 Hydra kills, which is going to take a huge chunk out of the army.
What was going on over here?
Oh, that's got to be a misrally or something. But they've got some minerals in their hands. I'm not really sure, but
maybe accidentally clicked on those minerals to try to send some units over there, but accidentally send his drones. There's even another drone right there. Oh,
man,
boy.
That's the scouter drone.
Maybe there was some zealot harassment or something they missed. I don't think so, though. I think Action is just getting a bit flustered here. Now, he's got a massive lead in supply, but, guys, like I tried to stress before, it doesn't always mean that the player is ahead. Composition-wise, there's still only 1 Colossus here. He's going to have to force field. The second Colossus comes out just in time. There's still a lot of range DPS.
There's a hole in those force fields. He's actually finding that out, and he's getting a decent concave here. The units on the right aren't getting the best shots, but once those force fields go down, definitely do some damage. But look at this. More Stalkers being warped in. Those 2 Colossi are still alive.
Deer not microing his Colossi back at all, just trying to target those Hydralisks to do the max amount of damage. His gates are not ready yet either. And Action, you're just going to move across the map and try to end it right now. An Immortal pops out here to be very helpful against these Roaches. Another Colossus is on the way, but it's a long way away here. Good micro on that Immortal. It's got 6 HP left.
Now just setting up a concave outside these warp gates. If we can take those down, he's going to take a lot of production out of Deer. This Protoss does have a lot of Stalkers in the mix right now. He's researching Charge, trying to get those Colossi out now. Phoenix is not really doing anything, just sitting back and watching how much they can do at this point.
Well, he just needs that Colossus out, and even with it, it's going to be not an easy time, especially with the position of that Cyber Core. It's making these Stalkers at the back not able to fire, also making this Colossus in a bit of an awkward spot as well. He just continues to rally units across the map. He's got Hydra speed. By the way, he's done all of this without Roach speed, which is nearly finished. So is Charge for Zealots, but he doesn't have a whole lot of those to work with right now. And that's usually not the unit comp that you want against Roach Hydra.
This is such an interesting game. Everything that Action's done, he just like got the Hive and then he just pushed out like 1 million units, Roach Hydra, before Deer was able to get so many Colossi because he saw all those Phoenixes and he's like, oh my god, can I just kill him? And he's trying to go for the kill here still. He's got a really nice concave. The second Colossus does pop out. He's got a decent amount of Warpins. If you can micro those Colossi, he will be safe here, I think.
By the way, Action is down on upgrades because the Protoss has armor. And all these Overlords were sent with the rally as well, so this could be a bit of an annoyance. He needs to pull his Colossi back, though. He cannot be this liberal with them.
Yeah, the most important thing right now, keeping those Colossi out. He's making an Immortal now. He's trying to do better work against those Roaches in the front, try to protect those 2 Colossi as well. But I feel like Deer has held this off for now.
By the way, he never finished his Hive. He canceled that. So I was going to say earlier, you know, it's almost like nobody gave him the memo that the Hydraless speed doesn't need a Hive anymore because he like got the, I thought it was like he got the Hive and then got Hydra speed, didn't even need that. So he doesn't have the Viper transition point anymore because had he had that Hive completed, he could be like, well, I killed his Colossi, I traded a little bit, I still got a solid Roach army. Let me just send a few Vipers across the map and yank his Colossi and win the game. But he doesn't have that opportunity anymore. Now going to split his army up and hit this third base. Some Mothership core over here.
He's coming from 3 sides. As you guys can see, the right end down the middle where those destructible rocks used to be. He's trying to get the huge surrounds here. He picks off one Colossus. He's going for the other one. It does survive for now.
This is just such a small amount of Protoss units for Deer to work with, and he's not splitting them as well as he would like to. Another Colossus goes down. A few Roaches snipe it. There's even an Oracle here. I'm not sure what she's going to get done. It looks like the answer is nothing at all. And he's not microing his Colossus individually. Now he finally does it.
That he does the Mothership Core. Not enough energy right now after being remade to do anything. Immortal does pop out, doing some decent damage here. It looks like Deer's just barely holding on, but this is so much Zerg right now.
All Charged Zealots coming out to try to desperately hold at the natural. Colossus stays alive on the left side.
Look at the supplies right now. It's 200 to 94.
He kills the Robo, and that's going to be game. That was the only lifeline here for Deer. He got picked totally apart there. Did not split his units, did not allocate his units well enough. This is like the curse of Action, man. He's going to win no matter what. Wow. I can't believe we're seeing what we just watched.
Pretty crazy game.
Game over, Deer. Action wins.
Action's done it, man. He's like 6-0 now in a row. Give this guy the upwards red arrow, I guess. That one Colossus on the left trying to micro, but GG is called, and Action able to take game number 2 in a crazy manner.
I'm so sorry I ever doubted the up arrow. His arrow needs to just shoot through all the players' arrows above him and pierce them. His arrow needs to go to the North Pole.
Well,
I mean, that was a game that was such a strange game. He took a little bit of damage from the Phoenixes. Started Hive, canceled, move across the map with Roach Hydra. And Deer messed up his force fields. Then he messed up his allocation of his units when just pure Roach Hydras kept attacking him. He had a Colossus comp that, when he was microing his army back, he microed his whole army back instead of just the Colossi. So he was just eating damage on his Stalkers during that moment. Yeah. I think he got a bit flustered, to be honest.
I definitely think he did. I don't think he was expecting that at all. Especially, you know, when he saw those Hydras out on the map and the Hydra sniped the Observer, you remember that. He's like, oh, you're just making a bunch of Hydras. I've got so many Phoenixes, I could just pick these all off. But then I guess he just didn't expect the follow-up push of like 1 million Roaches and Hydras.
He also saw the Infestation Pit, then his Observer died. And I don't know if he saw the Hive, but if he saw the Hive building, he might have been like, oh, okay, I've got more time. Probably going to get some Vipers out, so I'll be okay.
This is the fake Hive into 1 million Roach Hydra build.
That was weird. That was a weird game, but it's the curse of Action.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. He made a lot of Phoenixes, Deer did. They did some decent work. They traded with a lot of the Hydras as well, but then once they lost all their energy, they didn't really do much. He had like one less Colossus in the beginning because of it, and, you know, a lot less units as well. And that may have been something you were talking about before, the force fields that definitely came into it. He was able to actually give Action kind of a surround with that as he was able to squeeze through the force fields. And it was just way too many units. Action was able to power up 4 hatcheries there with 70 drones and just able to constantly put in like a million units towards deer.
Yeah, and once you have Hydra speed, they can reinforce so quickly. By the way, that first fight that he took, I just want to stress again, was without Roach speed.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
All right, guys, before we go into our next TVT, maybe KT can get that clean sweep. We are going to have a 2-minute break. We'll be right back.